Personal, huh?
No, it's about freshers.
Okay, okay. We can talk separately. Snehal is also from. You are also from JCER itself, huh?
Yes, yes.
You are in which semester?
Fifth sem.
Fifth sem. Okay. I did not see you, I feel.
Lateral entry.
Okay. Lateral entry. Nidhi is there today. Nidhi, your friends were also there, I feel, right?
Yeah, they've joined. One is Gaurav and one more. 1 second, I'll check with her.
Okay. Gaurav is also from your same
Yes,
batch?
yes. Yeah.
Okay, fine. So you saw yesterday's video. I think I had uploaded it and I had shared it in the group.
I guess I'll see it after this.
Okay, fine, fine. So should we start then?
Yes.
Perfect. So, can anyone just tell me yesterday what we saw? Any random person, I don't think I need to call out names. We are friends, right? Come on.
Language, what is programming language? Compiler, interpreter, types of programming language,
Which are those types?
high level, low level, mid level.
Then we saw compiler, interpreter, and assembler.
Assembler.
Then you know what is difference between a compiled language and uh, what is another language? Compiled language and interpreted language. So you know the difference between these two.
Compile.
How do you basically tell me some of the differences? Like what is the difference between compiled language and interpreted language? Come on, anyone can just tell
The
it.
compiler, it
If it is wrong, also that's fine. Yes, Neil, go ahead. Can you just repeat it again once?
interpreter does it line by line,
She's right.
and
Okay.
in compiler the whole program in compiler the whole program is run at once only.
Yes, yes, correct, correct. So that's the difference between those two. An example, can you tell me of compiled language and interpreted language?
Compiled language is C and interpreter language is Python.
Okay. Compiled language is C, C++. These are all examples for compiled languages, and Python is an example. JavaScript, not Java. Java is an example for compiled again, but JavaScript. Java is actually uses compiler as well as interpreter. Okay, so if you have any time run Java code, then you will be using Java C as the compiler. Okay, so Java is a completely different concept. It is actually OS independent. There is a concept of JVM and all, which makes that thing completely out of box. It uses compiler as well as interpreter. Okay, so it compiles it into some bytecode, and that bytecode an interpreter will basically execute it. So there is a different story which goes on in Java. But Python is an example for interpreted language. JavaScript also is an example for interpreted language, right? So we saw this kind of basic stuff yesterday. Perfect. Now we are going to start with learning Python, right? So yesterday I told you Python is also slow. We actually did some tests. Also we saw executing C program, how do we execute it, how it gets executed in what are steps, and how Python program can be executed. That is also what we saw yesterday. So Python's weight was little bit less yesterday, so we actually balanced that weight by adding what are the advantages of Python. So I'll just speak about why Python today, first of all. Okay, because from today onwards, today we'll be starting. I'll teach you one more concept afterwards. When the right time will come, I'll teach you what is linker, what is loader, how those things work and all. Okay, afterwards, but not right now. When we'll go to libraries and all. So why actually Python? Okay, so can you tell me why you are actually learning Python? Why Python? You could have learned Java, you could have learned some other language, then why you want to learn Python? Come on, fast. We are not. I think we have discussed, right? So let me not do this again and again every time. That I must keep on telling you that we all are friends. We are going to have talks here. We are going to have like a discussion, friendly discussion, and not like a professor-student class. So come on, I will not completely keep on saying this, and sometimes I may be on other screens, so I will not be able to see messages. Okay, so sometimes if I am not there on this screen. Anita says something, it is a simple language. Yes, it is very simple language. I'll tell you one thing from Anita's sentence, okay? That actually Python was designed for kids, not for adults. So Python was actually designed for kids so that even kids can learn programming. But it became so much popular because of its simplicity and because of its wide things which are available inside it. I'll tell you what are those. But because of that, it became so much popular that whole world started using it. So that's it. Only simplicity. What she told is completely right.
Because it uses less execution steps.
Next execution steps. So yesterday, what you saw that you're telling. Fine. So another JavaScript is also there. JavaScript is also an interpreted language, so you could have directly executed it. But why would you choose Python itself? Solid reasons. Why you choose Python? Why you wanted to learn Python? Who told you to learn Python? Are you doing meditation?
No.
It is time efficient.
It is time efficient. How come? What you told is right. Okay. Somehow it is. You know why? Because Python code. Yeah. This.
As compared to C, Python is a bit simple, and we have to not. We won't write much code there.
Fine. So what he told is right. The development time will be reduced because yesterday you saw, right, we wrote two programs, one in C, one in Python, simple program, where I did not tell you anything about Python. So I'll tell you today exactly how to download it and all those kind of stuff. I did not tell you anything yesterday, but you saw the difference in the amount of code we wrote, right? One place we wrote maybe 7-8 lines of program, one we wrote only 1 line of program. That's it. That's how simple it is. So obviously it's a common sense that you will be able to write the same program in a much lesser lines, and because you are able to write it in much lesser lines, you will basically be able to write it faster. So the development time that is involved, right, that is obviously faster because of its syntax. It is much shorter, so it is basically you can do it in much faster way than other languages. Faster, when I say faster, I am talking about the development time, not the execution speed, okay? Because yesterday we have seen that Python runs actually slower than compared to C, C++ and all, right? So not about speed, I am talking about the development time. It is little bit slower because of its simplicity. But all are telling the same point, somewhere revolving around that. Okay, I'll tell you one thing: don't fall in love with Python's simplicity, okay, or don't fall in love with any language. Honestly, I'm saying this because you know what, in computer science whole department, right, you will find things change so much fast. Today Python is there, I'm sure next 2 years Python will not be there. Okay, after maybe if not 2 years, maybe after a few years, I'm sure Python will not be there. Python will be replaced by something else. Okay, So you will find that, okay, I'm sure. You are seeing the popularity of some other languages like Golang, Rust, all these kind of languages are coming into picture and all. So what I want to say is don't fall in love with any language, okay, because you are not going to marry this language, right? So to keep that language lifetime with you all as if she is your wife and all, so that's not going to happen, right? So what is our purpose as programmer? Whichever language comes, learn it, use it to create something, whatever problem you want to solve, whatever applications you want to build it. That's it, we're done with it. We are not going to be more attached to a language, okay? Tomorrow, see, even we'll learn Python in such a way that I'll not basically restrict you all only for Python, although it's a Python bootcamp, but you must be basically learning it in general way, because it's a programming language, and the whole programming language in any language you take, it's almost similar. What changes in every language is syntax. Syntax basically means the rules that are used to follow while writing the program. Some rules you follow like while writing the program, like putting a semicolon is mandatory in some language, putting a semicolon is not mandatory in some other language. So these are some of the rules as a programmer which you have to follow for that particular language. So it's just like if you want to play cricket, right, you will have to follow the rules of cricket, right, when you want to play it. Similarly, if you want to learn this language, write some program in this language, you will have to follow some rules, and those rules are called as syntax. So don't fall in love with any language, just think it as if a tool which you are going to use to solve some problem, that's it, okay? So today, if Python is solving my issue, yes, I'll use Python, I will try to solve that problem, whatever you want to build. When I'm saying solving a problem, right, you want to maybe create something, okay? So just see if Python is the best tool that is available to create that thing. If it is, learn it, do it, finish it, that's it, okay? We are not going to attach to it, अरे मुझे Python आता है तो मैं Python छोड़कर कहाँ जाऊँगा नहीं, I'll not go to Java, I'll not go to C++, why? Because I know Python. It's not going to be like that, okay? So she or he is not your partner, right? So let's not be attached to it. Let's learn language in such a way that all fundamentals will remain same, whatever I am going to teach you, okay? In any language you shift, it will remain completely same. You can learn C after this, you can learn Java after this, it completely remains same. Syntax changes, that's it, okay? So I'll tell you some ways, some reasons why you should be basically learning it is not only because of its simple syntax. You should not be learning only Python because of its simple syntax or simple ways of writing it, okay? So it's very simple. You should not be only learning because of that, but there are beautiful reasons to learn Python, okay? That is huge set of libraries, okay? Now you might be saying you are using a new term here, what does this actually mean, okay? The exact meaning of this word I'll tell you, okay? But right now you can just think this as an Aladdin ka chirag. I'm sorry if I make any spelling mistake, okay? So Aladdin ka chirag, what is Aladdin ka chirag? Whatever you ask, it will give you, something like that, okay? So such things are there in Python, like you ask something and it will give you. Yes, I'm not joking, I'm serious, okay? That huge set of libraries are there. You don't have to write much code itself. You tell me what you want to do in Python. I'll tell you a library. A library is like Aladdin ka chirag, which I told you, and you just ask in front of that chirag what you want, and it will give you out. And you have to just write a simple two lines of code to ask that hey, I want this one, then it will give you that. So just to ask one line and to get one line, that's it, okay? Something like that we can consider. But there is huge set of libraries, anything you want to do. Maybe you want to automate something, maybe you want to download something, maybe you want to make requests to some kind of server, maybe you want to basically build something. You just name it out what you want to do. You want to go in machine learning. Everything has libraries in Python, everything has a kind of different chirags, Aladdin ka chirags in Python. You just go in front of that and ask what you want, it will be given to you. It's something like that. So Python is very popular because of this point, okay, that it has so much number of libraries. You don't have to write manual all code. You will almost get a library for something. What is the library exactly, we'll see in more detail in some class, okay, not right now. But Python has so much kind of libraries, right? Simple words, I told you what is a library right now, that you can do almost everything without writing much code. Very simple, okay? Libraries help you to write do lots of work without writing much code. In Exactly what do I mean by that? It means that someone else has already written the code for you and you just have to use it. Just import it and use it inside your program. Okay. So what is a library? It's basically a code. Again, it's a program that is written by someone else. You just want to use it, then you can just import it, call it and use it. That's it. You don't have to write all the code. Maybe someone must have written 1 lakhs of code for that, and you don't have to write 1 lakhs of code. You just import it in a single line, and in a single line you get all the powers of that 1000 lines of code what someone else has written for you. Perfect. So huge set of libraries are there in Python. Okay. And another advantage of Python is that obviously you all told it's very simple. Simple syntax is there. Common English language you will see. You will feel it as if you are writing it in English language. Okay. Then there is one more advantage, that is huge community is there for Python. Okay. So whenever you are learning a language, right, this is a very important point. Huge community for Python. Any language which you are learning, right, should have a good community. Okay. Community means what? Community means other people are also working on Python. Many people or other people are also learning Python. They are working on Python. Other people are also working using Python. So you might ask me a question, why do I need actually huge community? Yes, you need huge community because for sure you will end up in problems. Okay, so whenever you will be running Python programs, for sure you will get errors, and when you get errors, you need someone to solve. You need someone who could help you out. So if there are many people working out in Python, then obviously many people must have already got those errors, and the solutions to that errors must be already available online on the internet, and you can easily find that. But just imagine in this whole world you alone are working on Python, and if you get some error, no one will be there to help you out. Okay, because you are the only person who are working on that language, so no one will be there to help you out. So huge community will play a very important role, that many people are also learning Python, working on something with Python, so that all are able to solve each other's errors, all are able to help each other whenever they want to basically fall in some kind of problems and all. Okay, so that is one of the advantage of Python. Okay, so these are two very important points from my perspective. See, I am not going to teach you theory why Python, so that it's like a 5 marks question where you will be asked why Python and you should tell all these kind of points and all. That's not my point. Okay, that's you will get it done in your college. Okay, but these are two important points according to me, which are very important, that Python has this so much huge set of libraries. Python has this so much huge community. It's almost worldwide. Okay, so almost every programmer, almost okay, worldwide, they are using Python for some kind of purposes. Okay, so that's one of the advantage, where it will help you for debugging and all. It will help you for solving errors. If you get any errors in future, it will help you out there. Okay, so also what I want to tell you is the wide opportunities that are available if you learn Python. Okay, so opportunities after learning Python. So you might ask me like, what is the use of learning Python? What can I do with learning Python? Okay, so the things that you can do with Python, yesterday also I told about this, that you can go in the field of data science. Okay, these are all computer science branches that are available. Okay, so I will not be explaining all these branches, but these are all branches which you can do. Even you can build blockchain using Python. So blockchain, if you don't know, just Google it out, what are the meanings of these words. But I am telling you that if you learn Python, then you can go inside this field. Okay, this is a separate field of computer science where you are dealing with all data, analyzing data. So whatever data is getting collected on the internet, you just have to draw graphs, charts and all, analyze all those kind of stuff, so that it can help you to generate meaningful reports. It can help you to generate meaningful answers. Okay, then blockchain, I think I have already told this. Actually, just go and see this. Okay, there is something called as Web 3.0. Go and search these words. What is actually blockchain? Okay, it solves one very important problem on internet, that is trust. If I ask you one thing right now, that those who have attended the workshop which we conducted, I think they might be knowing it already, but is it your favorite? Yes, it is. Honestly, it is. So I have been working on it for a lot of time, because I was using it for lots of projects which I was working on for clients and all. So obviously I am there with this language for a long duration of time. I have worked on Python more than any other language, I feel. So obviously it is one of my favorite, because ऐसे हो जाता है काम, like you just see it, you'll understand, you don't have to write so much lines of code, ऐसे हो जाता है. In Python it happens like this. Okay, so what I was telling is this blockchain, you just go and search these words, what is web 3.0. Okay, fascinating thing which might happen in next few years. Web 1.0 came when internet actually was launched first time, then web 2.0, we are living in a world where 2.0, web 2.0, this is out of scope of this, so you can just go and search what is web 2.0, then just for your knowledge you will get to know more about it. Okay, then in future we are going to come with web 3.0, which is a completely decentralized system. So what do I mean by that? Maybe some jargon, so I am not going to tell about blockchain right now, so let's not speak about that, but go and search these words. Amazing, fascinating technology which is available. On internet, if something is not there, that is nothing but trust. I feel that trust is not there on internet. I cannot trust any website which I am going visiting. I cannot trust whatever ads they are showing. I cannot trust the person who is there behind this website, what he is going to do with my data. So I cannot trust anyone on internet, but blockchain brings trust. Okay, so just go and search about that technology. Amazing thing, amazing one. You can go into the field of machine learning. Okay, so this is an amazing, fascinating field which is machine learning and deep learning. So very beautiful concepts you will learn inside this, where you are going to teach machines how do you actually think. So this is actually called as replication of human brain. Okay, so in this field what we are doing is we are replicating human brains. Replication of human brain. Okay, so see here, what is the advantage till now inside a program? Whatever program we are going to write, I'll show you. We'll write some program and you'll see. Okay, the biggest disadvantage what is there, in all this is that your computer is only going to do that task which you are going to tell. Okay, so computer cannot think on its own, and maybe today it's a sunny weather, so a computer cannot think of doing something on its own, right? So computer can only do that kind of task which a programmer has told him. Maybe programmer might say, hey computer, tell me hello, so computer will tell hello. Hey programmer might write a program to tell computer when is my next meeting, so computer will shout out with Alexa and all those kind of stuff. Again, same thing, but it will just tell you when is the next meeting. So computer can only tell those kind of stuff which humans have told it to tell. Okay, computer cannot do it on something on its own. But this is an amazing field, deep learning and all, where we are trying to see how our human brain works, because we are human beings, right? We think on our own. We actually, if someone doesn't tell us also to do something, we can think on our own. We can think on our own and act. Right, so we learn actually from our experiences, right? Same thing we are going to teach computers also, how computer can learn from its own mistakes, how computer can make mistakes, then automatically it can learn on its own. Self-driving cars and all those are examples for all those kind of stuff. Okay, amazing field to explore, and you can enter inside this field if you know Python. Okay, so one of the most dominating languages that is available for this kind of stuff, machine learning, blockchain. Actually there is a separate languages also, but you can enter with Python also. There is a language which is officially Solidity. If you want to go inside blockchain, Solidity is the official language which is used for building Ethereum, blockchain networks and all, and also smart contracts and all. But you can go with this one also. Okay, you can go in this field of machine learning and deep learning. What I told, you can do some stuff like with other fields, like you can do web development in Python, so you can build websites for yourself as well as maybe for your relatives and all. Web development you can do app development also, but I won't suggest you can do app development with Python. Okay, but I am saying here, don't do it. There's a software which is Kiwi, which is used for developing apps with Python, but I am saying that you don't do it because the performance of these applications are not that much better. As much you can do it with Android, as much you can do it with React Native, as much you can do it with Flutter and all those kind of other technologies that are available. Okay, so you can do app development, you can do web development. There are other things also you can do. It will help you for testing also. Okay, testing is another separate branch in computer science. Okay, where there are huge testers that are hired by so many companies to test their applications. Programmers will create the application, but testers will test those applications. Okay, so Selenium is one of the tool that is available in Python. Selenium. Selenium is a tool that is available for testing. Okay, it is used for testing, and it's actually a library, okay, that is available in Python. I told you, right? In Python has so much libraries. What you tell me what you want to do and you will get a library for it. That means you don't have to write. What is a library? Actually, it's some large huge set of code that is written by someone else, and you just import it using one line, and you don't have to write all your code on your own. Okay, you are just importing it and using it. So we'll speak about more about libraries afterwards, okay, but in more better way we are going to understand it. I'll show you the difference between using a library and without using a library, how much code difference does it make, and all those kind of stuff. So we can do testing, we can basically do lots of other stuff also, not only testing, but I told you testing is one of the field through which you can go ahead using Python. Okay, so apart from this also there are lots of other fields inside which you can go inside Python, but I just told you some of the popular ones that are available. Okay, so you can use Python in IoT also, it can be used in Internet of Things, then it can be basically used for automation stuff. It is widely used for automation. Okay, it is used in robotics and all. It is used with hardwares like Raspberry Pi and all those kind of stuff. It is used for automation, lots of automation. Python is basically used, okay, for automating. You know what, whatever login and all you do, right, from your from your browser, you open and you type the username and password and you log in, right, that can be completely automated. Okay, so maybe next time when you have someone's birthday, your mom, dad's birthday, you can wish them by automating. You can send them a random email at this particular date. Whenever automatically 11 o'clock happens, 12 o'clock happens, the email should go, or whenever 12 o'clock happens, the WhatsApp message should go, or the phone should start ringing and giving some audio speech of, or it should start some YouTube song of birthday at 12 a.m. exactly. All this automation which you want to do, right, scheduling tasks, all those kind of stuff, amazing things you can do with Python. Okay, so you can also build desktop applications, that is you can also build GUIs with Python. Okay, GUI stands for graphical user interface, that is nothing but desktop applications. Okay, what applications you are using on your this, right, Windows and all. See, right now whichever application I am using, Google Meet and all, there is also a desktop application for that. There is a I think Chrome is a desktop application. Whatever applications you are seeing this side, right, these all are desktop applications which are available. So these are not mobile applications, these are desktop applications. Okay, so I hope this all places you will find the use of Python, traces of Python. That's why we are going to study Python. That's how simple it is. Okay, so not only because it's simple, we are not going to be attached with that language. I told you, right, very important point. We are just going to be free, learn it to do something. Maybe you use it for some fun purposes, right? Try to build something with it, try to create a GUI, try to automate something, try to send a message to your close one. With the help of Python and all those kind of cool stuff, whatever you want to do, you can automatically fire up your browser with Python. It will sound like magic, but you can automatically open any application with Python. You can schedule applications that whenever my computer starts, whenever my mobile phone starts, this application should automatically start. This program should run at 11 a.m. So you can do such kind of stuff. All amazing stuff coming up with Python, and we are going to see all these things practically. Okay, so nothing to worry. So let's get a friend first of all on our system, because we want to learn, right, so much amazing things. If we can do it with this guy, this language, this interpreter, let's basically take the advantages of that, right? So yesterday also I spoke, I want to run Python, my first Python program on my computer. My question is, what do you need if I want to run my Python program on my computer? Because I am going to write the Python program in Python language, computer is going to understand binary language. So what do you need? What you feel? What do you need which I should download from the internet to get my Python program running on my computer?
Interpreter.
So I hope you will not say from next time I need a Python software, right? So why only Snail answers? Others? I hope others are listening and you are not getting bored, as we discussed on the first day also. If you are getting bored, then I think we can have talk, we can I am not good at making jokes, but there are people here whom we can ask to, and we can have fun too also. Okay, so that creates a good balance.
But from next time onwards, I hope you will not tell that we'll actually download a Python software so that we can run a Python program. That's little bit more not engineering way of saying it. Engineering way of saying it is, hey, let's download Python interpreter, because I know from the fundamental, right, that if I want to run a Python program, I actually need a Python interpreter, nothing else. Okay, just a Python interpreter who will translate it for me into binary and binary back to my language. That's it, we are done. Okay, I don't need anything else to run Python program. So rather than saying that we have to go and download Python language, we have to go and download Python software from the internet, let's be technical. We'll actually go and download Python interpreter from the internet. Okay, so let's go online and let's go and type download Python interpreter, and actually we are not downloading a compiler. Why? Can someone tell me why we are not downloading actually a compiler and why we are downloading an interpreter?
Python in interpreted language.
Yes, correct Snail. Python is actually an interpreted language, not yes, Sejal, yes, you are right. Python is actually an interpreted language, not a compiled language. So if someone asks you, if I want to run a Python program on my computer, what do I need? So your answer should be, come on, what should be answer? Interpreter, very simple. Not only interpreter, just say that Python interpreter because when you say interpreter, right, other interpreters also can, JavaScript interpreter also is available. So just say we need a Python interpreter who can convert it. Why only interpreter, not compiler? Because it's a interpreted language, right? So obviously we need interpreter. Now interpreter means that from fundamental, yesterday I have told you one point, right? What is actually an interpreter? Who executes code one line at a time, not the whole program at a time, right? How it is actually possible to execute one line at a program, I'll show you. Okay, let's download first of all interpreter. Let's get this guy working first of all. So go and type here download Python interpreter on your machine, and we will be using one different softwares to run our program also. So I want you all to download one more software, which is download. You can use PyCharm also. PyCharm, you can download PyCharm if you want, but I prefer that this is a heavier one. Okay, so it consumes more of your RAM. So than downloading PyCharm, you can go here and click on professional version. You can just click on download. Okay, and that's it. Free build for open source for pure Python development, for both scientific Python web development. Okay, you can download the community version also. Okay, it's free also, it's open source, so you can download this community version directly itself for pure Python development. If you want to do some other work also, you can if you want to write HTML, CSS and all those kind of stuff, then you can do it here. Now you might be asking, what is PyCharm? Okay, PyCharm is actually a software, and inside that software we are going to write our Python programs. Okay, I hope you got the point. It is a window, like how you have Notepad, right? You have Notepad to write some text messages. You have Excel to maintain all your records, right? Similarly, this is an app software which is going to help you to write Python programs. So inside this software, you are going to create new file and you are going to write all your Python program and run your Python program inside this one. Okay, so either you can download PyCharm, but I don't want to suggest this PyCharm. This is heavier one, so I rather prefer a light version IDE, and I prefer VS Code. One of my favorite one. Okay, so download VS Code. Okay, for Windows, just type, if it is for Windows, go to this first link, which is code.visualstudio.com. go to this first link and then click on Windows. If you are using Windows, if you are using Debian, then you can click on .db or Mac. Okay, how to install it? Very simple, just click next. That's it, very simple. Okay, just download it and click next, leave everything as default, next. If there is anywhere agree, accept, license and agreements, then you will have to check mark. Okay, whenever in installing any software, if you get this point to agree, license, agreement and all those kind of stuff, you need to check mark and click next. And again, one very important point I'll tell you, while installing any software, if you find the word add to path, okay, if you find this line add to path, please check it mark. Okay, please check mark that point also. See, 2 points. Whenever you're installing any software on Windows, it will be a very simple procedure. Actually, just click next and it will be installed. But you will have to remember, while clicking next, if you anywhere get, sometimes you will get a line which is called as add to path. Okay, while installing Python also, I repeat again one time, get your attention here for just 1 minute. what I am saying is very important. Whenever you get add to path, you can do it manually also, going into environment variables, but why do you want to go eat food like this if someone is giving you like this? Okay, so whenever you see a line which is add to path, just tick mark that. Okay, what's the point of that? What's the advantage of that? Only the advantage is that now you can run your, let's say your Python program is installed in some C folder, documents folder. Although it is installed inside your C folder, documents folder, but you can run your Python program from anywhere inside your computer. Okay, if it is in path. Okay, so if it is in computer's path, then computer basically knows that it knows that it can execute the program from anywhere on the computer. Okay, although it is installed at a particular place of your computer, because see, any software you install get installed at some particular place of your computer. Maybe it is installed in downloads folder, it is installed in documents folder, wherever you install. Maybe it is installed in program files, wherever it is installed in your computer. But if you add it to a path, then you can run it from anywhere inside your application. So sometimes you will get one error, that is you will actually install Python, but if you type Python you will get an error. So the reason actually is that actually a Python is installed, but maybe you are running Python from some other folder, and that's why you are getting that error, because it is not there in path. So if you have already installed Python and if you are getting some error when you type Python and all, then that basically means that you have not added it to your path. So you will have to add it to your path. So that, what is the advantage of adding to your path? The only advantage is that now you can open Python, or you can start running Python from anywhere in your computer, I mean from any folder. Although it is installed in a specific folder, but you can run it from anywhere inside the folder. That's the advantage. So please tick mark add to path, okay, while installing Python, very important. And again, one point is, whenever you see agree, accept, agree, license and agreement, whenever a tick mark option comes, just tick mark that one also. That's it. Okay. So just go and click this, download it and install it. I hope tomorrow you will download it and install it. I am using Windows Ubuntu, so I would have downloaded this one. I already have it here. Okay. So this is the application, how it looks. Okay. This is the one. How it looks, and if for Windows you can download Windows one. Okay, that's it. So I'll just close this one. For Python, I have already installed, so you will go to python.org, the first website, download Python interpreter type. So you will go here. Now here itself it tells you download Python 3.10.0. So you can just download this one. I am right now using a different version of Python, but that's completely okay. That's fine. You can download the latest one, that is 3.10.0. Okay. So I don't have actually 3.10.0. I actually have 3.9 actually, or 3.8. But that's not important right now. If we get any future errors, we'll see. But because of versions, okay, because of some versions also some programs might not work, but that might happen, okay, but let's not worry about that right now. Whatever version is there right now here, 3.10, the current version is there, so that you can basically just click on download. If you download it, you will start downloading here. I'll just cancel this one. And how to install it? Again, very simple. Just click next. Most important point, don't forget to click tick mark add to path. Again, one time I am telling you this. While installing Python, you will get one option there, add to path. Tick mark that. If you don't tick mark that, you might get some error. If you get that error, then you just drop me message. Because we will have to manually add it to the path again. Okay, so by going into environment variables and all those kind of stuff we will have to do. So that should not happen to you. So add to path. Add to path. I hope you understood the meaning of what is the requirement of adding to path. Okay, what is actually add to path? Add to path means just it's telling computer that hey, I can run. I have installed Python at this folder, but I can you give me the permission to run Python from anywhere else. Okay, anywhere else in the computer I can run it. From any folder I can run it. That's it. Okay. So if you give that add to path, if you do the add to path, then only it will work, or else it will not work. It might give you error. So if you want to run, then you will have to go to that folder where you have installed the Python, and from there you will have to run it. Okay. Or the other option is add to path. If you add to path, you can run it from anywhere else. Okay. So that being said, I think by now I'll assume that you will have your Python completely installed on your laptop. Perfect. That sounds good. Okay. So there are different ways of running Python. So if we have installed Python first of all on our laptop, how do we execute Python programs? First of all, we'll see that one. How to run Python programs. Okay, so the first one is through terminal itself. Okay, terminal you call, or you call it as command prompt, command line,
or command prompt or CMD, whatever you want to call it, okay, CMD. CMD, command line, or whatever you have in your Windows, right? It is nowadays they are giving PowerShell also. Okay, so whatever you want to call. So you can just search this words terminal, command line, PowerShell in your Windows, any of this in your search bar of your Windows, and you will get the application. A black screen will open. Okay, a random black screen, complete black screen will actually open unless you have customized it. So a random black screen will open where you can execute the commands. Okay, so that is basically the way you can run it to one is basically that. And this is also IDLE. Okay, so actually what happens is when you download a Python compiler interpreter, right, you will get this software which is IDLE. Okay, so this is nothing but same thing. Okay, it is actually a Python interpreter. IDLE is nothing but it's a Python interpreter. Okay, you will, when you download the Python, right, when you install it, you will find this. If you search IDLE, you will get it. Okay, so inside that also you can run your program. So this is one of the second option which is available. That inside IDLE, you just search IDLE. That is the another way you can run the program. Through terminal itself, you can run the program. Both options are almost same. These both options are almost same. Okay. Third one is basically you can run your program in VS Code. Run in VS Code by creating a separate Python file. By creating separate Python file. Perfect. Okay. So this is the one way to do it. You can run it in PyCharm also if you want. Run in PyCharm. If you want to run it in PyCharm, you can do it in that. You can do it in VS Code. You can do it in Notepad also. You can do it anywhere else. Okay, so you can do it in any editor like Notepad. You may be having PyCharm. You might be having VS Code. But we are going to follow along for this course with VS Code. You can do it, I am telling, with Notepad also. Okay, that's completely okay. Okay, so I'll assume that you must have already installed it. Now, first of all, we'll see how do you actually run the Python program from terminal. And from running it from terminal and running it from IDLE. IDLE is actually the interpreter which is available. If you on Windows, if you download it, search for IDLE and you will get an option and hit enter, and the IDLE will open. Okay, so both our options are same. So I'll be teaching you one of this. What we are saying, how do you actually run a Python program? Okay. We don't know to write a Python program still, so I'll be writing some program which you don't have to worry because you don't know to write a Python program. You just have to see how to run it. That's it. Okay. The way to run it is basically I'm opening a terminal. So this is my terminal. On your Windows also you will get such screen like it might be in black color box. So this touch screen, you can just type terminal there and you will get this one. I assume first you will install Python and then you will do this work. Okay. So first install Python. Once you have installed Python, how to cross verify whether Python is installed or not. Okay, properly. Okay. For that you will open your terminal on Windows. Just go and type terminal or CMD. Open your terminal and type Python. Okay. Just type Python and hit enter. Perfect. If you get something here, like if you get these three arrows, such arrows if you get, or if you get Python 3.7 and all those kind of version and all, that means congratulations, you have successfully installed properly Python on your computer. If you don't get this, then you might have done some mistake. Maybe you must have not clicked that add to path and all those kind of stuff. So for those people who have not done, whatever the group doubt solving group is there, just send a photo of that and tell that you are getting this error. Okay. So I hope first you will go and install Python. While installing, you will not forget the following that procedure of adding to path. Once the Python is basically installed, then you will open a new terminal. Open a terminal, search command prompt or terminal on your Windows search bar, and you will get such screen. And you will just type Python here just to cross verify whether Python is installed or not. That's it. So for now we have installed Python. We have second one thing, we have cross verified Python is installed or not. And both these things are check marked for us. That's it. Very happy to see that. No errors. So we will be getting lots of errors also, and I'll be creating some random errors on just so that I can tell you few things also. Okay. So this basically means that whatever we have installed is completely installed properly. Now, what actually has happened here is whenever I type Python, right? So whenever you type a Python command in your terminal, okay? So whatever, I hope you also are making some notes, whatever rough notes I am providing, which I am scribbling while teaching, that will be there. But I assume that you all will make notes. It is very important. We all human beings don't remember anything. So
and you should not give any stress to your brain to remember things also that much. Okay, just scribble it on your pen and paper, keep it inside your book so that whenever you need it, just go through it. Okay, so installation is done. Whenever you type a Python command in terminal, I repeat, whenever you type a Python command in terminal, what actually happens is a Python interpreter is opened. So whenever you type a Python command, if you type Python in terminal, a Python interpreter shell is open. Shell is open, and how to understand whether it has opened or not? Then you will see these arrows. If you see these arrows, that basically means that it's a Python interpreter shell that has opened. Okay, where you can execute all your Python program. Okay, that means you can run all your Python programs here itself. No need to go anywhere else. You don't need any software like Notepad. You don't need any software like gedit and all those kind of stuff. Nothing you need. You can just write it here itself. So I'll just show you. What I'm writing is not important because I'm not taught you Python, right? But I will write a small Python program like to print hello world. Yesterday what we did, okay? Or let's say print hello let's build. So I'll just write it print hello let's build. Perfect, and hit enter, and that's it. So see here, you got it. Okay, notice the beauty what happened here. What Python interpreter is allowing you to do is execute only one line at a time. Okay, so if you get such kind of shell in any programming language, that basically means that it is actually an interpreted language. It is not a compiled language. This doesn't happen. You don't get this shell in compiled language. In compiled language, what you will have to do is you will have to open a file, go, maybe give some name to a file, open that file, write a program inside that file and run that file. But in an interpreted language, you can actually run a Python program without creating a file also. Without creating any file, you can directly run a Python program. From where you can run it? You can run it from Python interpreter shell. Okay. So how to open the Python interpreter shell? Just type Python inside any command prompt or inside any terminal, and boom, you will get these arrows. That basically means the Python interpreter shell is open. That means you can execute all your Python programs here also. Okay. So this is actually why we say that it is an interpreted language, because here you are actually executing one line itself. You can execute a whole. You can execute because it's an interpreted language. If you write a whole program and run Python py some file name also, that time also it will be getting executed line by line itself. Okay, but this is one of the way where I can show you that actually it is getting executed line by line. Okay, through this interactive shell what is available. So what I am trying to tell you, different ways through which you can execute your Python programs. First one is through Python interactive shell, and how you can open it through terminal. Open a terminal, type Python, boom, and that's it. How you can open it. You can execute all your programs. Okay, you don't need to write that all while main, printf, all those arrows, flower bracket, closing bracket, all those kind of stuff. Don't need anything. Okay, you can just execute everything. If you want to do some addition, just do 2 plus 2 here. You will get the output. If you want to do some multiplication, just do 2 into 2. Okay, so multiplication sign is not there on our keyboard, so we use star sign. Okay, that's it. See here. So you can execute every command you can give actually in Python inside this shell itself. This is one way to run it. Okay, but this is just used for testing purposes. We don't actually use to write it for bigger programs. Okay, for bigger programs we need systematic way to write program, right? So for that we'll use a different method to actually write some bigger programs. But if you want to write some short programs like test if Python is working, if you want to write some hello world program, if you want to write some basic program like maybe one if condition, print some variable, all those kind of stuff and all, you can basically use this kind of method to run your Python program also. Okay, I'm just telling you that you can just test everything with this method also. This is through interactive shell, and this is exactly the same way as ideally. So if you just type ideally inside your screen, inside your search bar, then you will get such screen itself. Okay, you will actually not get a terminal, but you will get actually such screen which has these 3 arrows. Okay, where you can directly execute all your programs. Okay, so ideally and doing it through this way actually is same. Okay, so if you type ideally also, you will get these 3 dots. You can just type ideally and see, you will get a screen with those all 3 dots where you can execute all your Python programs. I hope the 2 methods are clear. Okay, so if you want to exit through this, then you should just type exit. Okay, just type exit. And what I wrote after these 2 brackets, these are very special. Okay, what is that actually? I'll tell you afterwards, because you will be seeing a hell lot of times all those brackets. Actually, it is called as a function. Okay, So jargons function मतलब क्या function, what is exactly function, we'll dive deep into in an really amazing way. Okay, so you will never forget functions. So I'll exit it from that. So if I just type exit, now you are seeing that I am into this line and I don't have those three lines, three arrows, greater than arrows, right? So if those greater than arrows are not there, that means I came out from the interactive shell. If you saw those three greater than arrows, that means you are inside the interactive shell. Okay, so that is you go in, how to go inside an interactive shell? By typing Python. If you want to come out of that interactive shell, you will type exit and you will use those two brackets. That's it. Very simple. Okay. Does that sound simple? Did you understand what I am trying to say? Hello? Silence is there?
Yes.
Anything which you are feeling it is difficult?
No, nothing like that.
Okay, I am not throwing bounces, right? These are normal balls which you can, I think, play it well. Perfect. So, that being said, then let's go back to second way of running program, second or third way, because we also saw the ideally way, right? So, ideally interactive shell through terminal, that is one way. Third way what we will see is now a systematic way of writing program. Okay, this is just जुगाड़. तब के तब थोड़ा टाइप कर देख लेते हैं कि it is working fine or not and all. Small program if you want to test it, this is fine. Okay, ideally and through terminal. But through terminal also directly you can run Python program. That is what you have to understand. Okay, directly you can run through terminal any Python program with the help of that command Python. That's it. Go inside the shell or execute whatever program you want to execute, exit and come out of that. That's it. Very simple. Okay, and you will see there that your program is getting executed line by line. Okay, so whenever you write one line, hit enter. As soon as you hit enter, you will get the output. Whenever you write next line, hit enter, you will get output. So it will be executing line by line itself. Okay, and that shell what is there, right? That is called as interactive shell. Actually, it's an interpreter that is available only for interpreted languages. Such thing you must have not seen for C language. For C, if you have executed any C program, you must have seen that they will use gedit and they will create a file. Inside that file, they will write all those kind of program. Then they will execute that command gcc filename.c. Then they will type ./a.out and it will run. Okay, so they have not actually doing it through terminal, right? So in interpreted languages that is possible. Okay, because it is an interpreted languages, everything gets executed line by line, right? So it is possible here. It's not possible in compiled languages. Okay, compiled languages you will create a file, then you will write your program, whole program, and then you execute it. Now we'll see how to actually write a much bigger program in systematic way in Python. Okay, for that I will open my VS Code. Okay, so I have already told that. I hope you must have already installed VS Code. So let's open VS Code. Fire up my VS Code, one of the all most favorite editor. After using this editor, I have never touched any other editors. Okay, so that is the level of favorite it is to me. Okay, so I love this one. This is an amazing person. So let's close this, whatever is opened. What I'll do right now is, what I want you all to do is, every Jupyter, I don't like, honestly, I love VS Code. I itself told you all that don't be attached to programming languages. Okay, yes, don't be attached to programming languages, but I love this guy. Okay, although if any other guy comes also, I'm open to it. Okay, we can learn, we can use that one also. It's like Notepad, man. You don't need to learn something to use VS Code. Go there, write some program, execute it. That's it. Very simple. There is nothing to learn. It's not a Photoshop or a designing tool where you are going to learn what tool is there, which it is used for, and all those kind of stuff. Nothing like that. Okay, so what we'll do is, I'll go inside this folder, which is the Python bootcamp, and I am inside day 2, right? So you all can do this. Okay, you all can, I suggest you all that you all create day 1, day 2 such folders and store all your programs, assignments in separate folders, so that afterwards you can go and check what you did and all. Okay, so I have already told in day 1 we'll be creating every time 2 folders. All your code, whatever code I'll be writing will be there inside this folder code, and whatever notes I'll be there, whatever those notes are there, right, that all will be put inside this. Yesterday I put this, uploaded also on GitHub. I had given the link of that where it is uploaded in the description of that video. So let's do day 2. Let's go inside day 2. I'll create 2 folders. One is code and another one which I'll create is resources.
resources. Resources. Perfect. So 2 folders I've created. Whatever today notes I've created, that I will upload it inside resources. Okay. And code is one thing where we are basically going to use. Okay. So what we can do is, I can go and open VS Code. I'll go and open VS Code. So first time when you open your VS Code, right, you might, I'm getting all this kind of thing. You might be not getting this. You will not get this. Okay. So first time when you want to open VS Code, right, you will get a different window. How that window will look like, I'll tell you. But what you can do is, if you want to create a new window, so this is a different project which was there. But if I want to create a new window, I can go to File and I can click on New Window. Okay, so if you click on New Window, it will give you empty blank window. Okay, so this is the project which I was working. So let's close this project. I don't want that project. So I want a new window, fresh new window. So I have created a new window here now. See here, this is a blank window. This is how you also will get. If it asks you to trust and all, you can just click on trust. But this is how you will get a blank window if you are opening it for the first time. Okay, because I was working on a project, so it was open. It opened actually the last project which I was working on. Okay. Now what you should understand here is few things here. Okay, so very important here is, this is one which you should understand, which is files. One which you should understand here is extension. I will be telling you all some extension which will help you to write Python programs in much more faster way, but not now. Okay, because you don't know anything right now, so not now. But this tab what is there, this is extension tab. This you don't worry, you might be not having in your Windows, because I am working on some other things, so I have all this kind of Docker and all. But you might be not having Thunder client, this one, you might be not having Docker, you might be not having Tab9, all those kind of stuff on your VS Code. So that's completely fine, that's completely okay. This is important. This is Git source control, which I don't want to discuss right now. So let me go to files. Okay, this is important for us. Let me go to files. Just click on files. You will get this window. Okay, so if you get this window, here it is having lots of stuff. You can create a Java project with help of, by clicking this. You can clone a repository. You can clone some folder from outside. Or what you can do is, you can open a folder. So I will rather choose to open a folder. Just click on this, open folder, and I will click the folder which I had created. So complete Python bootcamp inside this day 2, and I want to open the folder code, because I'm going to write the program inside my code folder, right? So I'll open this folder code and just click on OK. Perfect, that's it. And boom, now code folder is automatically opened in here. Okay, it has automatically opened here. Okay, now if you see here which folder is open, you will see here, see this word. What is written here? Code is written, right? That means code folder which is there inside that day 2, right? That folder is opened inside the VS Code. So whatever files you can create, those will be created now inside the code folder. How to create files? See here. Here there is an icon. If you want to create a new file, you can click on this one. If you want to create a new folder inside code folder, let's say inside code folder, you want to create another new folder, then you can click on this one. Folder. It will create a new folder. Okay, if you want to refresh this, you can just click on this. It will refresh all those kind of stuff here. Okay, what's important is only these two icons. One is new file how to create, and new folder how to create. That's it. Okay, so I'll create a new folder here, a file here. So let's create a new file. I'll click on this. Now I can give a name of that file. So I'll give a random name of that file. So you can give any name to that file. Please do remember that don't give spaces in between file names. Don't please do that. Okay, so we are all techies, we are all technology people, so let's do it in systematic way. You will face other problems because if you do that, so don't give space in between in another file. If you want to give if you don't want to give space, you can use underscore. Okay, so you can use underscore or use capital letters, but don't give spaces in between while creating any files. After telling all this stuff also, again you will make mistakes, I'm sure. I know that, so I am repeating it again one time. Whenever you are creating any file name, whenever you are creating any folder name, keep it a habit that you don't use spaces. You better try to avoid using spaces. Okay, so I'll go to my VS Code, click a file, I'll write my first program. So if I want to write my first program as my file name, okay, first program, so I'll write first, and instead of writing it like this, my first program, right, I will do something like this. Either I can do underscore program. Write like this. This is called as a way of writing. This is using underscores. Okay, this is a way of creating files using underscores. Or there is another way which is called as camel casing, where I am writing first program. Okay, so the next word will actually start with a capital letter. This is called as camel casing. So you can use any of these two methods, but don't make use of spaces in between. Okay, so I'll use this one now, first program dot py. Now what I wrote here after dot. Okay, so what actually happens is,
how do you actually name a file? Okay, how do you actually name any file, any file, naming a file of any language you are writing program, how do you actually name a file? So what you first do is you write first of all file name. The file name can be whatever you want, most important, don't use space in between. Okay, you don't use this. Okay, after that we write, this is the first part. Okay, the second part, what you should do is you should write a dot. Okay, so this is again important one. This is the point number 1. You should write a file name. Point number 2 is actually this one, which is dot. Okay, and then we have something called as extension, which you have to write.
Extension.
Exactly, extension. Okay, so what is this extension? Okay, so what is the use of this extension? You might be having this question. I'll tell you. Extensions basically are used to identify the file, which type of file it is. Okay, so damn simple, right? So extension itself, this is the only one which will tell whether it's a Python file or whether it's a Java file or whether it's a C file or whether it's a C file and all those kind of stuff. Okay, so if you want to give me an example for this, then I will write like something like this. First program. So I did not give a space in between, I just use camel case letter, or you can use underscores way of writing it. First program. For Python you should write second way. Okay, first step is write file name, second step is put a dot. Dot I have put here. Okay, third step is write the extension. The extension for Python is .py. Okay, so you should write py. This is actually called extension. Okay, so for C file, okay, .c you should write. So if you write .c as extension, or if you write C as extension, then basically it means that this one is actually a C file. This is a C program. Okay, so it is just helping you to identify whether which type of program it is or which type of file it is. That's it. Okay, so if it is a C++ file, then you will write what? You will write .cpp. Okay, so if you see any file with .cpp extension, then it means that it's a C file. So if it is a video, which files you will see, especially for videos? Tell me, what will be the extension for video files? Come on, fast. You don't know? Seriously? You're there, or
MP.
Where are you people? I am searching you people. Someone was saying MP something. Vid.
EMP.
Okay, there are lots of ways, okay, MKV is also there, lots of are there. Most widely used, most popular one is .vid, okay, sorry, not .vid, .mp4 or mp3 is a very popular one, but what you are saying, those all also are correct, okay, but I just tell you the one of the most widely used one, okay. So .mp4 you might see, or mp3 you might see. Then if it is an image, then you will find extensions like .png,
JPG.
exactly, .jpg. You will also find .jpeg, all those kind of stuff. Okay, so these are nothing but telling whether it's this will tell whether it's an image or not. Okay, so this will tell whether it's a video or an image. So it is just used to identify files. Okay, so for Python also, if you want to name for Python, then you will use .py extension. .py will tell that yes, it's a Python file. Okay, so for Java it is .java. Okay, so for Dart it is .dart. Okay, so similarly for other languages it will be something like this. Okay, so we are not doing a class of extensions on all languages, but I hope you got the point what I want to say. That's it. That's more important. Okay, so we'll do that. Let's do that. Right, we have written here .py. That's it. Now see here, automatically this symbol changed to Python. You might be not getting it, so you might not get this symbol as Python. So because I've installed one extension which is of icons, so you can just go to extensions extensions, this extension, and search here icons, material icons, I feel material icons, something like this. Material icon. So go to this material icon theme and just click on install here. I have already installed it, so it will not ask me, but you can just install it. So it will give you all these icons. Whenever it will see a 3D file, so you will basically get this icon. So it will just give you icons here, so that it makes much more easier. Okay, that's it. So we have created a Python file, perfect, we know how to do it now, and that is how we have got this icon also. Okay, now what I want to tell you is, I hope you have understood that what we are going through. Okay, what I want to tell you, different ways of running Python program also we saw, right? Now what I want to tell you here is that in any programming language, if you want to learn, what you should basically do first. Any programming language you want to learn. Today you are learning Python, tomorrow you may want to learn Java. Okay, what you should do actually first. So any programming language you want to learn, what you should basically do first is, the first point, you should learn how actually input is taken inside that language, or let's say how to give output. How to give output in that language. Okay, so some people might be not understanding what is the meaning of output. We'll see what is that. Okay, but how to actually give output from the computer to the user in that particular language, you must see that. Then you must see how to take input from the computer. Input from computer. Some people might be saying we'll take it from keyboard. Yes, you will take it from keyboard itself, but for that itself also you will have to write some command, to write some program to take some input from the computer. Okay, in every language it will be different way. For Python it is different a way of doing it, for Java it is different, for C it is different. So input from computer, very important point. You must always learn this first. After that you must learn about variables in that particular language. Okay, variables and data types, all those kind of stuff you must learn basically in that particular language. All the data types like list and all those kind of stuff. After this variables and data types, you must learn about list, arrays, all those kind of stuff which is available in that particular language. All the data types, these all are actually data types itself. What are data types? We have a separate class for it. Okay, but we'll just see. We are just saying any programming language you want to learn from here on, what are the basic steps which you should basically learn. Okay, so next you should basically learn conditional statements. What are conditional statements? If you don't know, we'll tell you. Okay, conditional statements you should learn. Yes, you are right. So we should learn looping statements. What are looping statements? That also we'll see afterwards. But what I'm trying to tell you is, any programming language you pick, you should basically learn all these things. Then you can say that you actually know the basics of that programming language. Okay, so after this is done, you must also learn exception handling in that particular language. How exceptions, what are exceptions, we'll see afterwards. But exception handling, exceptions means errors. How to handle errors and all those kind of stuff you must learn. And you must learn functions. Okay, so very important, this is a very important topic. I'll take a separate class for this. After that you can learn classes and objects. Okay, what are classes and objects? We will learn in classes and objects in such a way that you will never forget in your whole life. Okay, so don't worry about this OOPS concept. This actually comes in OOPS concept. Any programming language you want, you should basically learn all this kind of stuff, then you can learn all the advanced stuff. Okay, but you must know all this kind of basic stuff, any programming language. After this Python bootcamp, you want to learn any programming language. Let's say you want to learn in Java, so you obviously must know how to take input and output in Java, variables, data types, list, conditional statements, loopings, all those functions, all these things must be clear for you in any programming language you want to learn. Okay, now you must have guessed that first thing what we will be learning, tell me. What we might be learning first thing in Python? Abhi I told Mahabharat. I told us. Who told that? Snail. Again, anyone else is there? Or all are sleeping? All are doing their own works? How is it going on? You all are there, right? Only because I see only Snail interacting every time. Everyone is there?
Yes.
Suchitra, you are there. You speak no in one stack. Then what happened here?
Aditya is there, fine. Okay, so we'll learn how to actually give output from the computer. Okay, why it is important to give output from the computer? Very important. Why in the sense? Because we want to display whatever computer wants to display something to you. Okay, then it has to be in English language, right? So obviously you must learn how to make computer display something to you, right? So how do actually computer should give output to you? You might say it will give it with the help of monitor. Yes, it will give it with the help of monitor itself, but on that monitor what you want to display, that as a programmer you will choose, you will decide. So you will write a program, what output I want to show on the monitor. That part we are seeing right now. The way we do it is with the help of print statement. Okay, so how we have printf in C language? If you have learnt any other language before, then printf you must have studied. Same exact equivalent alternative in Python is print. Okay, so if for those who don't know what is printf is one way to basically print output or show output using using C language. But in Python, if you want to give output on the monitor, something output you want to display on the monitor, then inside that in Python you have this statement which is called as print statement, and inside this print statement actually this print is actually a function. Okay, so actually I'll teach you tomorrow or day after tomorrow maybe first of all functions, so that you understand functions, because every place you will see that we are using functions. Okay, so print you will use a function which is called as print function. Now you don't have to worry what actually is a function is. We'll see tomorrow so tomorrow or maybe after some days we'll see what exactly functions are, because we have a separate class for it and we are going to study it in more depth. Okay, what functions are, different ways of writing it and all those kind of stuff. So this is actually a function which is print statement, print. Okay, so print function is basically used to print something on the monitor. Okay, and inside this print, whatever you want to display, whatever you want to print it, that you can write, but make sure whatever you want to write it, you write it in double quotes. Okay, so if you want to display something, maybe hello from Gautam. Okay, so you will not be writing it like this directly. If you write it like this, it will throw error because it is against the rules of Python. Okay, so every language will have something called as syntax. Every language will have something called as syntax. Syntax are nothing but rules which you will have to follow for doing whatever you want to do with that particular language. Okay, so this is against the rules of Python, so you will not be writing like this. Whatever you want to write it inside, whatever words you want to display, right? So rather than saying like this, I would say whatever words you want to display using words you want to display on the screen, right? You will all put it in double quotes. Double quotes you put or single quotes you put, but you should put it in quotes. In Python, even double quotes or single quotes both are allowed. Okay, so I'll write something like this. There is no need to give semicolon here. In Python, nowhere you will give semicolon. Remember this point, no semicolon in Python. Now how do we actually run this program? Okay, to run this program, what we'll do is we'll open this, click here terminal, we'll click on new terminal. Now we'll get this terminal. Okay, now inside this terminal, what we'll do is we'll just type Python. How to run a Python program? I repeat again one time. So how do you run a Python file? How to run a Python file? Okay, the way we run a Python file is you should type this command. You should type first of all the word Python, and then you should write file name, whichever file name you have given .py. Okay, so whatever this command is basically used to run any Python program, any Python file. Okay, so any Python file, this is the file which you want to run. This is actually a file which you want to run, Okay, so any Python file you can run it with the help of the prefix Python and then write the file name. Okay, so how should I do it? I'll open a new terminal. I opened a new terminal inside VS Code. This is how it is. Now I'll just type the command. First I told you to write Python and then give a space and write file name. My file name is first. Okay, and if you don't want to write the whole file name, you can just write the starting and hit tab key. See here, it will auto complete. Okay, if you just hit the tab key, it will automatically complete the file name. Okay, so you can just write the first few letters and hit tab key, it will automatically complete, and hit enter. As soon as you hit enter, boom, that you have got your first output. You have first of all written your first Python program, and most important thing, you have seen the various ways of running this Python program. You have got the first output, and you have learned actually how do you actually display some output from a computer using Python programming language. I hope that sounds simple, that was very easy, and you all will be able to do it. So we'll not take it more on from here for today. We'll wind up, but I hope that sounds simple and that was very easy. That is how you basically run any Python program. So for today, I would suggest you all to basically run some basic programs and see. For tomorrow, we'll be going into operators, we'll be going into type conversions and all those kind of stuff. Now onwards, we'll be executing all our program the way we showed inside of VS Code, like that itself, not on the interpreter shell. Okay, so I hope you all will be basically able to write your first Python program today. Okay, you will try it, you will do it, all this installation, and you will test it, and after doing all this kind of stuff, tomorrow you will come where you will be able to basically learn lots of other stuff. Not tomorrow, Monday. Tomorrow is Sunday, so Monday, tomorrow there will be no class. So we'll come and we'll basically learn lots of other stuff about all these kind of things, about operators, typecasting, what is this, and all those kind of stuff. Okay, so I hope you'll remember this function. If you want to give output in Python language, then you will be using this function which is called as print. Okay, not printf, it is print. And what is actually this print? Print is a function. If someone asks you what is print, print is actually a function. Okay, so what is function, what is the use of that, we'll see in functions module class. Okay, different types of functions and all those things will be covered that time. Okay, so for today, this will be the end of the class. I hope you understood whatever was been told. Whatever doubts are there, you just ask. We'll just have some discussion about the doubts and we'll end up this session. Come on first. Any doubts? Hello? No doubts. You all are not having doubts, I'm
No.
seeing. So whether it is like because
Then,
you're understanding it or
Gautam, then printf in C is also a function then?
yes, completely. Printf in C is also function. See, I'll tell you one way to recognize how it is a function or not. If you see those two brackets, no, what brackets I have shown here, these two brackets, if you see anywhere, think that it's a function. Okay, inside function also there are different concepts. Function calls are there, function definition is there. Whether this is a function call or function definition, you will understand in completely clear way afterwards. Okay, but right now you should understand that it's a function. That's it. What is function, we'll see afterwards. But whenever you see those two brackets, समझ जाओ कि ये है फंक्शन ही. तो फंक्शन क्या करता है, what is this function? Every programming language you will see everywhere functions. So what is this? We'll see in that class where we'll study in depth about functions. But what you told is right. Printf is also a function. Actually, these functions are called as inbuilt functions. Okay, we'll study about types of functions in the functions class. Any other doubts? Good to see someone ask. I pronounced every time this thing wrong. It is ask. Ask. I pronounced it right. I will ask. So good to see that someone asked it right. Okay, I hope I pronounced it right. So anyone is having any other doubts? I am enjoying this 1 hour. So I hope even you are enjoying this 1 hour, having some learning something as well as entertainment also. I hope for me at least it is becoming, but I hope it is becoming for you too. So any doubts are there? Suchitra, Neha, Aditi, Sejal, Srinidhi. Srinidhi, is it clear? You did not watch yesterday's class, but I'm not sure you understood it or not.
Yeah, it's clear. No, I understood it.
Perfect. Anyone is facing any problems in teaching? Any other way or any things which you are not understanding and all? We have not covered advanced concepts, but it will be my guarantee. We will learn all those advanced concepts boiled. Damn simple. Okay, damn very simple. So that should be okay. I think no doubts. Snail, no doubts. Fine. So should we wind up then? I forgot to wishing you a very happy new year. I hope you all have a great year ahead.
I had to wish it at the start itself, but forgot, by the way. No issues. I am wishing you again one time, all of you all, a very happy new year. Hope this year you all have set some amazing goals which you want to work on. You are excited about this year. At least those people who are in 5th semester, 3rd semester, great chance to boost your career. Amazing things you can do. You can get so much fame, you can earn so much money, all those kind of stuff which you wanted to do. Everything you can do, you can make your parents feel proud. I hope you will set some goals to yourself, give yourself some direction through which you all will move ahead. And on 31st December 2020, like you will feel proud. Arey जी लिया घर को. Like 2020 was my year. It was amazing. I hope you all will be able to say this. Don't take big steps. Just think of how you can make this particular hour or whatever, this particular minute better. Okay, that's it. You should be worried of this particular moment or this particular time what is there right now in front of you all. How I can make this particular maybe 1 minute or 30 seconds better, or I can learn something in this 30 seconds. That's it. You should be worried about. You should not be thinking about lots of future past and all those kind of stuff. Just think of living your life or doing whatever you are doing in this particular moment, because that's it, what you have, nothing else. So take micro actions. I feel don't take much bigger steps, much bigger actions. It will completely make you feel demotivated. Take so much small steps that you also should not understand that I am actually doing some improvements. Okay, so after 1 year you might understand suddenly, those small drop every day. I saved a drop of water, and suddenly boom, a vessel got filled out of it after 1 year. You will be shocked to see that. Okay, so do like that. It will be much better approach, which I feel will help you all out. Don't stress yourself much. Aram se chill mein raho. You go and roam, you go and travel, amazing. I love traveling, so go and travel, go study concepts, try to nail down concept. If I am learning Python, say yourself that aise सीखूंगा ना Python ki as if I am going to be a gem out of it. In that I am going to learn it in most better way. I am going to have my knowledge in most depth way as much as possible. So that is the mindset which you all keep. I think you will have great 2020. I am wishing myself also a great year ahead. So that's it for today. I think we can wind up. You have any doubts, if you want to speak apart from studies also, any help you need, any kind of guidance you need, or any kind of problem you need a kind of help and all, we'll be always there with you all. Okay, so nothing to worry. Stay humble always. So should we wind up?
Yes.
आदिती म्हणाले अरे बंद कर, पहिला जातो होता.
मला
It's already 7. हे नाही जोक मारलो. It was a joke. Don't take me seriously.
मला
I will leave.
बद्दल विचार.
Sorry?
प्रोजेक्ट IoT प्रोजेक्ट.
हो, प्रोजेक्ट करायचा आहे काय? हा सॅनिटायझर मशीन. अगं मी विसरलो तुला पाठवायचं. मी संडे उद्या फ्री आहे. उद्या क्लास का नाही आहे, पाठवतो.
हां चालेल.
Okay. Anyone else? Should we wind up? Snail says yes, so wants to leave. Fine. I'll not take much of your time. Let's. You can leave this meet. Thank you so much.